So, is it better to have a high paying, stressful job or a lower paying, stress free job? Um, when it comes to work and the balance of how much money you're getting versus how stressful the job is, it's almost like you have these two levers, okay, that you're trying to find a balance with, and I know in my personal experience, I've been trying to, find that perfect combination of pay versus stress. And lately I've just been really, 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 really thinking about this question, especially in my own personal life. Um, and I've been thinking about it a lot recently for a lot of different reasons. Just for whatever reason, just I've been thinking about it during work and thinking about the times that are really stressful at my job, and versus the pay I'm getting. And I don't know. I was compelled to just grab my recorder, record an episode. I know it's been a while, but yeah, let's talk about it. To be honest, I don't really have any notes other than the only notes I have for this is literally just one sentence: high paying, stressful job versus low paying, stress free job. And you know, let me talk about first kind of the perspective that I'm coming from. So here's sort of what is framing all this. Is basically for those of you that are regular listeners of the Take a Break podcast, you know that I have an office job, okay? A relatively, normal, I suppose, office job. I don't make a lot of money, but I don't make minimum wage either. I make more than that. And, look, right now, I actually do, I don't have to stress about money. I'll just say that. Again, I'm not rich or anything. I don't make like a lot of money. Um, but I don't have to worry about money in the sense that the lifestyle that I want, for once, I can actually say with confidence that I make more than I spend. So I bring in enough, me and my wife, we both bring in enough income every month that we're able to, pay for our rent, pay for our car expenses, pay for our lifestyle, which is, it's a normal lifestyle. It's not crazy. Um, but, we're able to pay for all of our expenses and we're able to save in addition to that, and we're able to kind of pay for anything that kind of comes up. Anyways, so finances I don't have to worry about, but it's my work, my job, my full time job. You know, uh, don't get me wrong, it's a lot better than what it was a few years ago, as again listeners of this podcast may know and remember. But I still don't love my job, and there's still moments that is pretty stressful. And sometimes I wonder, you know, there are jobs out there that are fairly stress free. At least it would be for me. Um, I'm thinking even within an office setting. Like right now there are things. I'm not gonna get into specifics, but there is stresses in my office job. There's times where I have to work after hours. There's times where I'm always thinking about work. There's times where I have to do, things that kind of go above and beyond what you're expected to do. Again, I'm not complaining. I actually work for a great company and they take care of me very well. But sometimes I wonder, what if I had just a stress-free like job, just like a true 9 to 5. Just be some um, like a data entry clerk or something, and just have very little responsibilities. I don't care if it's boring or mundane. A job like that, if those jobs even exist. Um, or even just some sort of easy general labor job where you can just kind of turn off your brain and work for like 8 hours on a conveyor belt or something. Again, I've never worked any of those jobs, and I'm not saying those jobs are are beneath me or anything like that. In fact, as you can tell, I'm seriously debating about whether I should transition into one of those jobs. And look, I know there's no catch in this world. If you want those types of jobs, they don't pay as well as a more higher stress uh, job, right? But think about it this way: I would have a different type of stress. That is money. So, if I were, say, to resign from this job, and I would give up being able to pay for all my expenses and things like that, and I would have to change my lifestyle, and I get this stress-free job. I wonder though if overall if my net happiness would be more, you know, um, yes, I would have to stress about money now, and I'd have to watch every penny, and I'd have to make some sacrifices. But in exchange for that, I'm not stressing about my job. I wonder if that payoff, again, playing with those levers, if that would be a good move for me. So yeah, I'm curious if anyone out there has been in this situation where you've taken a stress-free job that pays lower and you've kind of given up your financial security. Was it a good move? Will I regret it? Uh, uh, I just these are just some things I've been thinking of because sometimes I wonder. It's like, do you know what would life be like if I didn't stress about work? What if I had zero stresses about work? Like I didn't even think about work. It wasn't even an issue. Like, that work is just that. It's just work and I don't even think about it, you know? Sometimes I think about that. And in exchange for that, I'll worry about money. I'll have to monitor my bills, cut back on things, and I don't know. I wonder if my net happiness would be more at the end of the day. Or what if I worked, say, two stress free jobs so my hours would increase, okay? Uh, but my stress level would still, you know, be low. So sometimes I think about that too. Again, I, 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 I really wonder about that. I really wonder about that. But anyways, I totally, sorry, for those of you that are just kind of joining us, this is the Take a Break podcast, and this is episode 26. And you know what? I haven't said my intro in a while. I'll just go ahead and say it. Welcome back to the Take a Break podcast, exclusively here on YouTube. I'm your host, KC, and this is the relaxing, informative, and often random podcast where we take a break from the hectic pace of life to just spend some time together and also discuss various topics from mundane subjects to thought-provoking ideas. If you have any comments on this, please send me your responses, questions, anything to my email, takeabreakpodcast@gmail.com, and I'll feature it on a future episode. But anyways, yeah, I just had to get that intro in there somewhere. How long have you been recording so far? Okay, so again, short short episode. Oh, and right now it is October 2nd, Tuesday, and this is 2018, and this is a late night recording. It's almost 11 p.m. right now. But anyways, yeah, I know this is probably my most incoherent, um, I don't know, incoherent, maybe that's a bad word, but unscripted. I really, you know what, I kind of get this itch on and off to record another episode. And I don't know, just today I was really, really thinking about this topic. And I thought, you know what? How about just turn on the recorder and kind of you can think out loud. So if my thoughts seem sort of unformulated at this point, it's because I'm just kind of thinking. So, but anyways, back to back to the topic at hand. That's I think a question that a lot of people in uh, high-paying, stressful jobs think about. Now, again, my job is not high-paying. I'm not. I don't make a lot of money, uh, but relative to my lifestyle, I make good money, and again, I'm only phrasing it like that in the sense that I make enough to cover all my expenses, uh, and I even have money left over every month. Okay, so I consider that a high-paying job relative to my lifestyle. I'm sure if someone else had my same income, it might not be that case. But in terms of where I am right now, I make enough to fully pay for everything and have extra left over. But my job is not perfect. It has stresses. There are times where I really think about my job and I wonder if this is for me. What am I doing? And I wonder, I think, I'm sure there are jobs out there, even minimum wage jobs that are relatively stress free, that don't have the type of stresses that I think about. True 9 to 5 jobs where you clock in, you do some work, even if it's boring, and then you clock out and that's it. Now, I wouldn't have to stress about work anymore, but I would have to stress about money. So again, right now I'm not stressing about money, but I'm stressing out about work. And I'm wondering if I didn't stress about work, but I stressed about money, if my net happiness would be better, you know? So I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone out there who's in a similar situation um, that can kind of give some feedback. But yeah, I wonder. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have done the whole, I quit a stressful job and now I'm much more happier, making less money, etc. Uh, those stories are always sort of inspiring. But I wonder though, and I tell this to my wife all the time. If I quit my job and I, take a quote unquote lower stress job for a lower pay, I might be more miserable. I might say, do you know what? It's stressful not knowing if I can pay the bills every month. I actually would rather have a stressful job, but then not have to stress about paying the bills. You know, who knows? This again, it might be that. So, kind of been thinking about that question. Not that I'm at a crossroads or anything. I'm really gonna do anything. To be honest, that's just I don't know. That's just where I am right now. I've been really thinking about that. Um, yeah. If anyone's listening to this by any chance and they have sort of experience with this, please let me know. Let me know. Yeah. I wish I had an answer to the question, which is why I'm just kind of rambling about it. Um, but the only kind of perspectives I can kind of think about is sort of moments in my life where I may have had mm, kind of lower stress jobs that were lower paying, I guess. But even that, hindsight is kind of 2020, as they say. But I do remember a time where I was kind of in between jobs and I was working kind of part time, and I didn't make a lot of money, but my life was pretty actually stress free in that sense. Like I can sleep in. I only worked a few hours a week, and those few hours wasn't that stressful. Uh, but yeah, I didn't know how much money I'd make, and all that stuff. And I do recall though being pretty stressed about money, and yeah. So I don't know. I really I don't know. I don't know though. But I wish I could have both. It'd be nice to be able to have a job that pays for all my expenses and is stress free, but I don't know. Maybe I'm more of a realist in that case. I really don't think those jobs exist. I look. I am not naive. I don't look for kind of get rich quick schemes. I know, you earn what you put in. There's a reason jobs pay more that are higher skilled and they have more stress, and jobs pay less that require less skill, and they're usually less stressful. And you know, now the worst combination, I guess, would be low paying, high stress job. Like a minimum wage job, that's stressful. That is stressful. So if anyone is in that case, I hope you get out of it. No, seriously, like if you're in a, say, a minimum wage job and it's really, really, really stressful, maybe try something else, because I'm pretty sure there's uh, other minimum wage jobs that you could do that are a lot less stressful. But yeah, hindsight is 2020. But it'd be funny if in a couple years I'm recording an episode and I'm talking about how, oh yeah, so I quit my office job and now I'm working an easy general labor job. I don't know, sorting things on a conveyor belt, and I'm making minimum wage. I'm not stressed at work, but yeah, but I hate this situation. I'm worried about money, and I don't know how am I gonna pay my bills. So yeah, I don't know. That would suck. Well, actually, so my ideal scenario, actually, sorry, I just thought about this. Hold on. Um, yeah, actually, I just thought about it, so I might as well get into it. I always like the idea, though, of kind of a day job. I think that would be neat. Sorry, let me reformulate this. I guess I should have prepared ahead of time, I guess. Um, but an ideal situation would actually be this. So you have a stress-free day job, which for the most part can pay a big chunk of the bills. Not necessarily all of it, but pays for a good chunk of the bills. But it's a stress-free day job, a clean 9 to 5, you know, no overtime or whatever, and you don't think about that job. You kind of go in, do your work, and get out. But then part time, you sort of have a passion project, or a job that you're passionate about that also makes money, that pays for the, I guess, that can cover the rest of the bills and your savings. And then you kind of hit two birds in one stone. Is number one, you are you do have a full-time job that pays the bills, relatively stress-free, but then you could also look in the mirror and say that you're doing what you're passionate about. uh, so let me give you an example. Say you I don't know, were a cashier for a really stress-free store. I don't know, say a bookstore, and you work 9 to 5. I don't know what it's like working at a bookstore, but let's just assume, for the sake of this example, working at this bookstore from 9 to 5, say making minimum wage, is really stress-free. You don't even think about it. You come in at 9, you close up at 5, stress-free. All of your customers are really nice. It's a quiet bookstore. Traffic's not that much. Just very relaxing. Um, and then, say in the evenings or on the weekends or a couple hours a week, I don't know, you write books, and that's really what you're passionate about. So you have your day job, which can pay for most of your bills, but again, it's minimum wage. You might not be able to fund the lifestyle you want. But then you also make a few hundred a month selling books. So you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm a professional writer, and I make money off of it. And you combine those two things, and you're able to pay your bills. You're able to save. You're not stressed, and you're doing what you love. So I don't know. That might be a good scenario. So yeah, that could. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really just rambling at this point, as you can tell. Um, yeah, I have no idea how this episode is gonna turn out. I wish I had any answers. This is just me asking questions, but I don't know. I just had this thought in my head, and I wanted to kind of think it through out loud. So yeah, I don't know. What would life be like? What would life be like if I didn't stress about work? I imagine waking up and just work is like an afterthought. Just just not even thinking about work. Just you wake up and you go to this job and it's stress free. And the second, what I would love is a job is say you start at 9, okay? You don't even think about work until you start at 9, and then say you end at 5. The second it's 5:01, you don't even think about work. It's that stress free, you know. Um, so that that would be imagine life, imagine my life like that. But then kind of the flip side is instead of stressing about work, you get home and then you start stressing about bills. But I don't know. I wonder if that's a better stress, if that even makes sense. I wonder if that's a stress that I'd rather have. You know, I don't want to stress about work, but I'd rather stress about the bills. Maybe I can, you know, take my minimalism further. Maybe I can, save more money on food, even more so. Building on my last episode. Um, Live a more frugal life. I wonder if I'd be happier that way. What would life look like? You know, like I'll admit, right now I don't have to think too much about my finances in the sense that I just we kind of have our spending patterns or our budget and kind of this and that, and it just the system runs itself financially. I don't really have to worry about that too much. I wonder if I would give that up in exchange for a stress-free job. I don't know. That's an interesting scenario, interesting dilemma. Not that I have to make that decision. If anyone's listening to this and they actually know me in real life, no, I'm not, on the verge of quitting my job or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. I guess maybe it's been a kind of a stressful couple of weeks, maybe stressful couple of months uh, at work, and I've just been thinking about these questions a lot. You know, I don't know if anyone else feels this too, but when it's really stressful at work, I find I'm always thinking about these things. And then when it's kind of a not stressful day at the office, it's like, I don't think about it. But yeah, sometimes I think when it's really stressful weeks, I think, what if, what if I had a stress-free job and, you know, even though I wouldn't make as much, would I be happier? Would I be more content? I guess so. Um, but yeah, how long we've been? Let me just check my recorder here. Yeah, it's been about 20 minutes, I guess. Yeah, I guess I can wrap this up. Shorter episode and very incoherent. So, sorry, not. Why do I keep saying incoherent? Just unformulated, unscripted. Just very, not the best episode, I guess. But, anyways, thanks for listening. Anyone who is listening, thanks for listening. This is just something that's been on my mind, and I just wanted to talk about it. And if anyone's out there listening, thank you so much for listening, and thanks for taking a break to for joining us. So, anyways, I think that's it. It's I'm gonna head to bed and go to work tomorrow. So there you go. So, anyways, thanks for taking a break to listen to this podcast. Take care and stay well. This is K. Wait, how did my outro go? See, I totally forgot. No, I think I said. Anyways, this is KC. Okay, there you go. I think I know what to say now. All right. Thanks for taking a break to listen to this podcast. This is KC saying take care and stay well.